Welcome to Tuesday Mirror Moments. Can I ask you something? Have you ever looked in the mirror and quietly wondered, when did she change? Or maybe you've whispered to yourself, what happened to the woman who used to look like she had it all together? Not because you don't trust God, not because you don't love God, not because you're ungrateful, but because the woman looking back at you doesn't quite feel like the woman you're always known. Your body's changing, your energy is changing, your emotions surprise you every day. Your clothes just don't fit the way they used to. Some mornings you don't recognize your reflection. And if you're honest, you don't always recognize yourself. If you've ever felt that way, I want you to know something. You're not alone. Just a few days ago, I found myself having this very conversation with my husband. I shared with him, after beginning this journey of posting on social media, how unfamiliar this season has felt, how difficult it can be to look in the mirror and wonder where the woman I once recognized had gone. Then he quietly said something I'll never forget. Who wouldn't want their flower to bloom late? I sat with those words for a long time because maybe, just maybe, we've been believed the lie that if we haven't become who we thought we'd be by a certain age, then somehow we've missed our season. But what I would like to say is if we haven't missed it at all, what if God has simply been growing deeper roots? What if the flower that blooms later blooms with greater resilience, deeper wisdom, and a fragrance only time could produce? God has never been in a hurry with flowers. Some bloom in spring, some in summer, and some in fall. Yet every one blooms in the season the gardener intended. Every bloom has its appointed season. Every flower is beautiful in its time. So why do we believe God is in a hurry with us? The gardener never mistakes one season for another. He doesn't compare one flower to the next. He simply nurtures each one until it's appointed time to bloom. You see, late bloomers isn't really about menopause or aging or even self esteem. It's about trusting God's timing, His timing for healing, His timing for growth, His timing for purpose, His timing for becoming. His word reminds us the righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. That verse comes from Psalm 92:12 and 14. That promise doesn't simply tell us we'll survive our latter years. It reminds us that we can still flourish. We can still bear fruit. We can still bloom. And Ecclesiastes reminds us to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. And that verse comes from Ecclesiastes 3:1. Friend, maybe you aren't fading. Maybe you're blooming. Not on the world's timeline, but in God's perfect timing. Because He has never rushed a single flower He intended to bloom. So be gentle with yourself. Offer yourself the same grace you so freely extend to everyone else. Because this season deserves compassion, not condemnation. And remember, God isn't measuring you by the things you've been measuring yourself against. He still sees you. He is still faithful. And the woman He created you to be is still beautifully unfolding, even here. Until the appointed time, may you always recognize the shepherd's voice. And please do remember, there's always a seat for you right here. With love, your girl, Cherie.